Hi and welcome back to our educators. So for today I'm going to talk about a new subtopic which is 7.4 about the collision theory. So this video was requested by a lot of students to answer how does we need to explain the effect of concentration, temperature, or the effect of size of reactor or catalyst. The presence of catalyst can cause the rate of reaction. So I'm going to discuss this question by giving you by providing you with a sample of past year questions, and I teach you how to compare the rate of reaction between the two sets according the correct factor that influence the rate of reaction. So this video would be totally in English, but later I will do for Malay version. Okay, so now for today the first video should be first video would be for experiment 1 and 2 comparison, which is for set 1 and set 2 in terms of size of the reactant. Okay, in terms of size of the reactant. All right, so we are going to use this particular thing, the total surface area, this point, this point, to answer these questions. Okay, so you should remember your first point is about the total surface area. Second, you should talk about the frequency of collision. Third, you talk about frequency of effective collision. Then only you should talk about the rate of reaction. That should be all of your answers. Understand? This is how you should answer. So you should memorize the points, but it's not something about memorizing, it is something about you remember it or no. Understand? Okay, so now without any further ado, we get started. Okay, now let's say ini there's one exam you. Okay, first thing you kena baca dulu. Set 1 say pita magnesium. Okay, it's okay lah, I just go to down one. Excess magnesium ribbon plus 25 centimeter cube of hydrochloric acid. Okay, the temperature is 30. Okay, you see temperature, there are 4 factors that influence rate of reaction, and one of it was temperature. Okay, so now, and then you see the second set, they use excess magnesium powder. Try to see the first set, they use magnesium ribbon, they use magnesium powder. Okay, remember you should find the factor should be only 4. Okay, either concentration, okay, it should be about concentration, it should be about temperature, it should be about size, or catalyst. These are the 4 factors. So you should find, is there any things are different between the two sets, either about concentration, temperature, size, or catalyst. So if you see the first and second set, set 1 and set 2, the difference is this one using magnesium ribbon, this one is using magnesium powder. So you can see the difference is in terms of size. Okay, so you should note about it. Okay, before you start to compare whatever rate of reaction like this type of question, you should do the chemical equation. So here for set 1 and set 2, both are using magnesium and hydrochloric acid, right? Okay, so first write the chemical equation. Chemical equation. Okay, so you react out your magnesium but in different, what you call it, in different state, but it's all magnesium. So magnesium plus hydrochloric acid, which is HCl. Okay, so what does it produce? Magnesium chloride and also H2, correct? And then you put 2 at front here, so the equation is already balanced. So once you get the balanced equation, okay, it's important or crucial sometimes to the ionic equation. Yeah, correct. But remember that, do remember that we usually use the ionic equation for the concentration part. This one is for the size of the substance, right? So no need to do the ionic equation, just enough by having the chemical equation. So now you can start to compare. Okay, so wait, I open your textbook. Okay, you can see first, your first sentence should be the total surface area exposed. Your second sentence should be about the frequency of collision, and your third sentence is about the frequency of effective collision, and last sentence is rate of reaction, correct? Okay, so now first thing, I already told you your first sentence should be about the total area exposed, correct? Okay, now you answer to me, which one you think the total area exposed is bigger? Is it excess magnesium ribbon or also magnesium powder? Which one is smaller? Magnesium powder, like if you have a beaker, right? If you put the thing in the beaker, which one like very simple to dissolve? So magnesium powder is very simple to dissolve. Betul tak? Agree, right? Okay, so okay, wait, same question tak payah lah. Tak payah. Okay, just write question 3, experiment 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2. So okay, so your first sentence is about the total surface area exposed. So you should it's wait, I tak suka this blue color, it's not so attractive. It's pink lah. Okay, your first sentence should be, you should compare the size first, because we are talking about the size. So which one punya size is smaller or bigger? Up to you lah, you want to say. Okay, like me, I choose magnesium powder, so I would say the size of magnesium, okay, magnesium powder, right? Okay, you see they say magnesium powder, so magnesium powder in which set? In experiment 2. Okay, they use experiment, sometimes they use set. Okay, in experiment 2 is smaller than the size of what? The size of magnesium ribbon. Magnesium ribbon in set 2. RIBBON. Okay, so this is the first sentence. Remember that they're asking about two sets, so you should compare it. Okay, you should compare it. Compare correctly. So the word that we see as a comparison here is the smaller. Okay, is smaller than. Okay, that is the comparison word. Smaller than shows that you compare the size. So when this first one's punya size is smaller, means the total area exposed is bigger. Betul tak? The total surface area exposed is greater or bigger. I love to use the word greater lah, I tak suka guna bigger. Okay, okay, so now you talk lah about the total surface area x. So you just say the total surface area of magnesium powder in experiment 2 that was exposed lah. Okay, that was exposed is greater than, sebab powder kan lagi kecil kan, so dia punya area is greater lah, is greater than. I love to compare selengkap-lengkap lah. Is greater than the total surface area exposed, the total surface area of of magnesium ribbon that was exposed in set 2. You should say like that. That was exposed in experiment 1. Sorry, yeah, I always get confused. Okay, this is your second sentence. If you want to compare about size, your first sentence should be you talk about the size. You bagi tahu size mana yang bigger, yang mana smaller. I love to bagi tahu yang smaller so that it will be coherent. Okay, so once I bagi tahu the smaller, so if the total size of experiment 1 is smaller, maksudnya dia punya surface area is bigger, betul tak? Lagi banyak yang terdedah for the reaction to occur, betul? So this would be your second sentence. And your third sentence, baru you masuk to the point where you should talk about the collision. Okay, so once you dah bagi tahu total area, now I think you kena bagi tahu pasal collision, betul? Okay, so this is how the sentence looks like. Okay, you should start with what you left in the previous. In the previous, you start dengan comparing experiment 2 kan. So kat sini pun you should say the frequency of collision. This is the third sentence. The frequency of collision collision spelling betul tak? Ya, betul. Collision, okay, between. Okay, frequency of collision ini hanya akan occur between the reactants sahaja. So you should name the reactants correctly. Okay, that's why tadi kita buat the chemical equation, right? Okay, kat sini the reactants are apa? Reactants dia adalah magnesium and so hydrochloric acid, betul? So we say the frequency of collision between atom magnesium. Okay, why does it atom magnesium? Because you know, magnesium tadi kita buat persamaan kimia, everything dia kata serbuk dan juga ribbon, betul? So it is in solid state, which is atom lah. Kalau it is in a molecule, dia mesti ada magnesium chloride, something like that, betul? So we should say between atom magnesium and ion hydrogen, okay, ataupun hydrogen ions lah. Okay, tapi kejap, atom magnesium ini looks like Malay. Between magnesium atoms and hydrogen ions. Okay, from where hydrogen ions ini muncul tiba-tiba? Okay, ingat, if we have acid, in terms of frequency of collision, we won't compare dia punya acid punya hydrogen ion sahaja. Okay, we won't take dia punya anion, we will see dia punya cation sahaja. Okay, so ingatlah, if we have acid, the one that will take place for the reaction adalah hydrogen ion. Dia punya hydrogen ion saja take place, dia punya anion won't care anything. Understand? So you should say the frequency of collision between magnesium atom and hydrogen ions in experiment 2 is apa? Is greater lah. Okay, ataupun higher. Okay, I love to use higher kat sini sebab frequency is something that kita boleh kira. Okay, so that's why I love to use higher. In experiment 2 is higher than. I memang jenis yang suka write dengan penuh lah. But if you want to write is higher than experiment 1 pun boleh juga, tak ada masalah, tak salah pun. So tak apalah, we make it simple. Then experiment 1. Okay, so once dah bagi tahu this point, the next point, effective frequency collision, you salin je di third point, but apa you buat, you just add effective punya word depan collision, itu sahaja. Let's tulis sahaja the frequency of effective collision between magnesium atoms and hydrogen ions in experiment 2 is higher than experiment 1. Tu saja. That is how this sentence works. Okay, dia just sama je dengan frequency of collision, just you tambah effective collision, tu saja. Dia memang sama je. Okay, tak ada apa yang difference pun. Okay, compared to experiment 1. Alright, so your fifth sentence is the baru you bagi tahu the rate of reaction. Hence, the rate of reaction for which experiment you rasa higher? You tengok frequency of effective collision dan frequency collision untuk experiment 2 is higher, betul? So rate of reaction pun untuk experiment 2 lah higher. Okay, hence the rate of reaction for experiment 2 is higher than experiment 1. Tu saja. So macam ni lah yang saya tulis, higher than experiment 1. If you buat macam ni, you akan dapat full marks in your exam. Okay, it's just a matter of you ingat ke tak ingat macam mana you nak compare. Okay, but sekejap, ada lagi a few things saya kena bagi tahu. Okay, so these are the 5 sentences lah. So ada all these 5 sentences, you get the first 5 marks. This one 5 marks, this one 5 marks. That's why dia bagi jumlah 10 marks. So you should know how to write for this 10 marks. Okay, so kejap, ingat ke tadi kan kita buat chemical equation, right? Okay, wait, I show you chemical equation. Okay, for the chemical equation part, ingat we agree, right? Magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid HCl, so dia produces MgCl2 and also hydrogen ions. Betul? Gas hydrogen. So you cerakinkan ni to its to its ions. Macam kita buat ionic equation. Okay, ingat ionic equation dia ada beberapa rules yang we have to follow. Okay, so untuk ionic equation we only can separate. Okay, I write here lah, can separate. Ada 3 things je we can separate. Okay, first one, we can separate acid, we can separate alkali, and we can separate soluble salt. Itu sahaja. Okay, then which one you cannot separate? Okay, ada a few things lah that you cannot okay, so cannot separate adalah, okay, cannot separate. Okay, you cannot separate atom, you cannot separate molecule, and you cannot separate insoluble salt. Okay, you cannot separate these 3 items. Okay, so based on this one, cuba tengok magnesium, it's a atom, so can you separate? Cannot, so tulis je balik magnesium. Okay, and this one HCl. Okay, HCl is a acid, so can separate, so separate lah H plus and also Cl minus. Then this one magnesium chloride. Okay, magnesium chloride, is it a soluble salt or insoluble salt? It is a soluble salt. Betul? You tengoklah, if it is a ion you can separate, tapi ion tu tengoklah dia adalah soluble ke insoluble salt. So yang ni adalah soluble salt, so boleh separate. So Mg2 plus and Cl minus. Okay, and this one is gas hydrogen, tulis balik. Okay, so you cuba tengok sekarang which one you can cancel. Okay, this one and this one dah boleh cancel lah, benda yang sama. So Mg2 plus H2, H2 is the atom. So cuba tengok, I kan katakan for the frequency of collision ni, we would take the reactant saja. So in the side reactant tinggal apa? Dua abang ni saja. Okay, these 2 fellows only, which is magnesium and H plus. So magnesium is an atom, kan kita agree kan, dia atom. Dia kata excess magnesium powder, excess magnesium ribbon, so it is an atom. Dan another one is hydrogen ion. That is why I said here the frequency of collision is between magnesium atom and hydrogen ions. Some ada tanya kat saya, cikgu boleh tak saya kata the frequency of collision between magnesium atom and hydrochloric acid? No, wrong. Memang wrong. Sebab hydrochloric acid hanya hydrogen sahaja akan terlibat for this rate of reaction. So that is why whenever you want to do this type of question, you kena buat chemical equation, buat ionic, then you tentukan what are the product. So the product and reactant. Paling penting reactant. Okay, so the reactant is Mg and H plus. So Mg is magnesium atoms lah, and H plus is hydrogen ions. That is how it works. So saya harap you dapat apa we have discussed from all over the things since just now. If let's say you don't understand anything, you can let me know in the comment box. Okay, so I will do a different video to explain to you. So my next video would be about answer for effect of experiment 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is about temperature. So my next video is about temperature. So I'm going to explain to you how we can compare the rate of reaction between experiment 2 and 3 in terms of temperature, because you see experiment 2 and 3 everything is same but the temperature is different. And yes, we know that one of the factor that influence rate of reaction is temperature. So the second one would be everything about temperature. Okay, wait, I give another one note also. Note. Okay, note, if your question you should answer for size, right? Okay, for size tips, first do chemical equation, do chemical and ionic equation. First do that. After you do both of it, then what you do? Okay, then you go to the first sentence, compare size. Bagi tahu lah size, which one is great, which one is bigger, which one is smaller. Then compare total area exposed, total surface area exposed. That should be your third sentence, surface area exposed. So bagi tahu lah which one punya total surface area exposed is greater. And then fourth one, compare frequency of collision. Okay, frequency of collision. But remember, frequency of collision, we would add the name of the reactant, which is, for this case, atom magnesium and hydrogen ions. You will get the name of reaction once you did the ionic equation. So make sure you do ionic equation first. Then compare effective frequency of effective collision. Okay, frequency of effective collision. Then your last sentence, sixth one, is compare rate of reaction. So you should compare betul-betul lah. If let's say you tak faham mana-mana part, that's a problem. So this is the 6 steps and you will have 5 sentences. Number 2 sampai number 6 is your sentences. Okay, another one thing, you will see some schema dia akan letak ayat nombor 5 ni sebagai ayat pertama, then ayat nombor 1 ni sebagai ayat nombor 2, ni ayat nombor 3, nombor 4, nombor 5. It's just the same. Okay, tak ada apa-apa masalah, but I usually suggest you do like this. Bagi tahu the rate of reaction in the final sentence. Okay, jangan bagi tahu kat atas. But some schema memang dia bagi tahu kat atas. Tak kisahlah you letak atas ke bawah ke, yang number 5 ni, it's just the same. But the others you cannot change the position. It is fixed position. After size, you should talk about total surface area. After total surface area, you should talk about frequency of collision. After then only you can talk about effective collision. Jangan you talk effective collision then you talk about collision normal. No, salah. Yang tu salah. So you please ikut this step. This step kalau in terms of size. In terms of size, if they ask to compare the size lah, in terms of size you kena compare macam ni. So itu saja from me. I will meet you in another one video with a new lesson which is for temperature. Okay, itu sahaja. Bye bye.